the Neon 2. There's a lot of cool ideas to show here, and Foot has never played against a comp like this.
Oh, I'm excited. All right, let's go ahead and jump into map 1, shall we? And send it over to your casters, who, by the way, are taking a break from getting rinsed on the Pacific servers. It's Brennan's
I've
time
never played on the Pacific servers.
I've never been rinsed in my life on the Pacific servers.
Yeah, you
I'm
definitely
taking
have.
over. No,
You definitely
that's a lie, actually. Singapore servers after 6 p.m, demon time. don't play on those servers, I'm telling you now. We got Foot versus EDG here for our opening matchup, really, between these two teams. The first signs of life that we're going to see at them in champs so far. And there's a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss at the desk. It's already been bringing out, but we are jumping straight into the pistol round. I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to break down all sorts of narratives circulating around these teams. But the big one is that EDG are under a tremendous lot of pressure. They need to have a good, strong opening.
They absolutely do. Those Chinese fans can be brutal, and EDG have seen so many other squads from China have success recently. They want a taste of that themselves again. Foot was stacking up over towards C at the start of this pistol round, and it looks like they're playing A towards a bit of a retake setup. Both teams playing a breach, seeing Cracks hold the fault line.
Just in cases here, Simon's going to go for that plant. Full stick, nothing to push that away as well. Plant against the backside of the wall, holding the flash as well for backside fight, with Kang already in that spot and position.
EDG love to get aggressive on these Lotus post plants.
Let's see if they got anything clear. And the one-way fault line. And the paranoia. Right clicks, a bit of panic settling in. Chichu trying to cover it just over the shoulder as well. Kang still alive. It's off to the side here, making sure that he can hold this one back, but already getting overwhelmed and swarmed by the Foot players with that front sight control. They've taken out almost everybody. Smoggy, last one to be alive here, and Crack sticking at the fuse. No way! That's a lead by Smoggy, and what an opener that this EDG team needed.
Great play there towards the end. He got enough chip damage on the first try of going at things. Both of those players super weak. It made the frenzy very useful in that spot. Nice Red Bull clutch that Smoggy pulls out early on. Like you said, very needed. Other than that, their post-plant aggression didn't really work. It looked like Foot's coordination on the retake was working as well. EDG needed somebody to come up huge.
Smoggy was the man for the job.
I'll tell you in general, Foot love contacting around places. It's not a high utility composition that they're running here. You don't have the raise, you don't have the fade, you just got a breach.
Yeah.
And they normally save that utility for like big retakes or big executes, depending on what side they're on. So there's going to be a lot of raw gunfights happening. And when you have that kind of clash between teams like this, form is crazy important. Whether the EDG and Foot players are feeling it today and can access their full potential. And in terms of the peaks that we've seen, players in this server have just put on absolute God mode tournaments occasionally.
Let's see if those individuals are firing off. EDG are making this one. It's quite cautious at the beginning into this eco round. Of course, they don't want to give away any lives unnecessarily. Cena gets at least 2 chances there to potentially rip off some heads, but he's back at the site here, and with only the Sheriff in hand. Wouldn't be too much danger. Yeah, he's cleaned up, so EDG going for that plan at this point here. There's a bit of time as well. I mean, we've already kind of briefly mentioned how unorthodox these compositions are. These teams, you know, Foot and EDG, they have been playing it in their regions. It's not like we've seen this for the first time.
No, but we haven't seen them clash against each other.
Yeah.
EDG's comp, in my opinion, is really attack-sided. Crazy attack-sided. And then when EDG go onto defense, they try to save up, get an operator into Kang's hand, and they're like, would you mind winning us a few rounds with the op? Because the actual compositional setups are not that great on the defense. So I'm expecting EDG here to run up the scoreline at least to a comfortable level for them. And if they don't, they might be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, the J just going to be going down to the spike here. So another one followed up by EDG, putting that second round on the board.
I also think it's really remarkable that, I mean, maybe it's not remarkable because they've got G2 and PaperX in their group, but the community had both of these teams as like 25%ers, 3rd and 4th in the group. Only 25% of people thought that they were going to exit the group, basically,
right,
for both of these teams. I think this group could be rife for upsets. PaperX is waiting. Whoever loses this, I don't think PaperX has an enormous edge over either of these two teams, but neither of them are going to want to be in that position.
Yeah, looking to grab a win nice and early in their group here. Bonus round for EDG. definitely a lot of danger towards it. Big stack and group up by the Foot players. A fault line and a paranoia gives them access to that A-Robble control. Might be looking to cement it, but already you're seeing a fast pivot and EDG just trying to play off of that. A lot of util being used. Yedajay barely alive, but a stun still applying, and he's able to trade out these kills. Kill trip played off of this guy is electric right now. Yedajay, anchoring player, stalwart defender. And EDG now going to be licking their wounds, I think, looking for options and ways back into this round.
Already I can tell that Foot have been watching the VODs. That aftershock comes out from Simon every time, and Yedajay made sure his trips did not get broken by it. That was massive.
Now Foot just hold, waiting for it. Signs of life contact, the head's just peeking up and over. Ripped clean off.
Such a clean round, and so important for Foot to showcase early on in this defense half that they can hold on to a site when there's only one player and, you know, a flood coming through. It was just Yedajay there. Ada Captain comes to try to reinforce. To be honest, Kangkang should probably be favored in that kind of situation, but if Yedajay's hitting, I guess the stun is cosmetic. But yeah, pay attention to where these trips are, because Simon's aftershock is supposed to break those trips. And Yedajay's putting them down in spots that'll avoid that.
And now opted into the skirmish, both of these teams, but nobody considering that Chichu could have already got past that line with the TP, with CNED removed. Robble control going to be made that much more easier here for EDG.
I think it's going to be a mistake for Foot to opt into these Robble fights. EDG's composition is much better in those spots.
Yeah. Like we were already talking about, I mean, the utility that Foot have to work with, it's pretty low. In terms of if you're trying to go, you know, pound for pound against this composition that EDG have, you know, the double initiator, the duelist. Neon stuns are just brutal for trying to find that one early. And a contact reclear is called here by Foot. Had a captain just hold under one line. Yedajay.
He's got a good idea.
Very good idea. Just sees the jiggle as well, but already gives it up, doesn't he? Spoiler. And already stands up, gliding forwards. Kangkang can't follow up. Out from mounds and ducking, weaving, dodging Yedajay only with the two before the trade comes through. Still, two left to stand here for Foot, and that does give them chances and opportunities, but they want to make their way back over towards A now. EDG. Chichu didn't give up that position earlier, so just holding on to that A control for most of the round gives them that option.
It's a nice call. Coming back over to Chichu, who is inserted there. Mr. Fallen might have an opportunity. Shut down.
Yeah, crosshair placement just wasn't quite there, already adjusting.
And that should secure the round up. We'll have to be keeping an eye on these kind of mid-round calls that are going on for EDG. I feel like a lot of the time things are extremely hectic in the EDG camp, especially since they've decided to bench Haodong, put him into the sixth man assistant coach kind of vibe, and bring nobody in to make a lot of the calls for them.
Krax is trying to make a go at this. I don't really understand the logic behind it.
Probably needs his weapon.
Yeah, he really does. He's got no money to buy another one. The rest of his team does, so he's going to get out of there. Not going to get punished for the hubris of trying to make that attempt. But you're right, you know, EDG, there's been even comments from themselves. You know, I was talking about Yinsu ahead of this match as well, just trying to get that extra information heading into it about EDG. But, you know, even Kangkang was talking about how they get chaotic in the mid-round sometimes. They lose track of, you know, what decisions they should be making.
Frankly,
gets a little bit messy.
That doesn't surprise me whatsoever when you put a player who's known for his unorthodox plays and strange read on the game and feast or famine play style, and you put him into an IGL position. But it feels like Edward Gaming are just trying to figure out what their mentality is, what their ethos is, their style of play. All right. CNED's going to pick up an operator. Go to look for an early pick out here towards C. Got to imagine there's util to push it back.
Yeah, I mean, they have boatloads of it, but okay. Unscoped as well. That is so damn dangerous near-sighted just by the Prowler. Was not broken up by Yedajay. It gives it full sight over towards the C mound angle. Door's going to be not even opened here, not even contested, at least with that Nightfall. Scatters its way across. There's no follow-up, though, with the wall in their face and a haunt. And the paranoia, plenty more where that came from. EDG garner and gain that access into the C site, but the question is, are they going to come out unscathed? Need to get this plant down. Plenty of shots and opportunities handed to CNED, but he's not quite grasping any of them. Damage done to Smoggy. Not quite the kill he was looking for, though. Still has the Blade Storm, so the retake potential is there.
That was a hit.
He's definitely making a decent go of it. Teams grouped up now. 5 versus 5 onto the retake, backside control. Aim to be held, Kang. It's an off angle, just down onto the ramp as well, but he needs to land it. Shot down with the rest of his team. It's Led just firing through and follows through with the kills. Beautiful work by EDG.
Very nicely done there. EDG, when I was watching them in China on this map, they loved fighting aggressively in the post plant for waterfall control. This time, they planted, but they all stayed on site. They didn't push for an extra piece of map control, but they also didn't back off over to Mound, which means it's massively important that you stand your ground, hold crossfires with each other, and hit these important shots. That's a really crucial one to take down CNED, who had knives online. This is putting EDG well ahead now.
Right there.
Yeah, ults are starting to get generated already. See the rolling thunder. Simon holding on to it. And Captain's the only one to hold back this A approach. It's a weaker buy by Foot.
Yeah, the attack side operator is now coming out as well. Kang picking that up. They tend to play a lot slower when Kang is AWPing.
Foot just trying to abuse the fact that there's no Sentinel on the side of EDG, but Smoggy will happily fulfill that role. Even just with the raw aim and gunfire. I mean, listen, there's always danger. The sheriffs are in the hands of these Foot players. They're demons with it, but it's all cleaned up. Safe pair of hands of Smoggy.
It's pretty nice for the next round. You now have Breach Ult, Clovault online. Smoggy can go really deep off the back of it.
The last two players as well. Forced off into the corner.
What?
Whoa, cracks! He's given it the lifeline and a chance, an opportunity that it's just opened Pride. Wide open, 5 health though to his name. It's a 1v1, isolated down in the blink of an eye. Expecting already the cross up from Smoggy, the pre-fire, no. But my God, did it get dangerous.
There's just a taster of what this match might end up devolving into.
Listen, man, I said it could get dangerous and they got the sheriffs in their hands.
It's absolutely bonkers what these players are able to do with light weaponry. I mean, the first shot is labored, but onto nobody and onto Simon.
God
and
almighty.
it's so clean. If Captain hadn't let face first into the aftershock there, they actually could have had a 2v1. Maybe secured the round.
All smiles on the face of Kang though. He's taking it in his stride. No worries, guys.
Foot are going to take attack timeout here. This side is going to be very difficult for them. I really do believe that EDG's composition is massively attack-sided. And when they have ults online like Clovault, Breach Ult, it's just going to be so difficult to hold them back. I think Foot should be aiming to put a little bit of pressure early and then fight a kind of rolling retreat as they back up and then play retake onto the sites with their own Breach Ult. It's really important, though, that you contest EDG early on because you want to drain them out of utility. You want to make them use the Breach Ult. You don't want to give away that you're just playing full retake setups. Otherwise, they're just going to walk in and then they have all the ults for post-plant.
Yeah.
So I would like to see, we can see that CNED is picking up the operator. I'd like to see CNED try and take an aggressive angle. You know, maybe over towards C, maybe even fighting from the kind of A site kind of area, but something that forces out that Breach Ult so that then his team can play retake. It's just so important that he at least creates pressure and then gets out alive.
And that's the difficulty, I think, for Foot as well. Their composition is... It's hard to walk that tightrope of not over-investing into some of these fights. Seen it again. Operator already being just accosted off onto the corner. Stun already connecting. Seen it just trying to get the hell out of there. Vienna J. He does cover it. Like you were mentioning, Josh, as well, that rolling retreat, they're just backing away now. The rolling thunder of itself cracks. He lets it loose, lets it rip now. Everybody pushed up back into the corner, but cosmetic stuns is the nature of this game sometimes. Smoggy not dead yet. Back into the fight, but falling from the side, instantly traded once more. The pause, scattering, running away. EDG, they want to try and make their mark. Moves over towards the A side. CNED, he's fast onto it, but players up into his face as well. Up and down the ropes. They're making this one dangerous and awkward. CNED's lucky to be alive.
Spike planted.
Bit of calm for once in the middle of the round. Foot making sure to play this one together. Holding just in case. Flank possibilities, but a contact peek, doubled up, not quite ready for it. Seen it again, missing the shot. This is many opportunities now that he has missed. 2v3, EDG, smoke in their face. Chichu could cross this one up as well. And for Foot, the pressure's on them to try and push past this one without a captain low. Haunt not seeing too much. Jumping peak. Swing is there. Yedaje finally, but Chichu contains. 1v1 and a tap. Issue has forced Chichu though. Ice cold. Backs away. Knowing Yedaje is not playing towards this one, and there's a 1 round out. Beautiful work once more. 4-piece to finish and wrap it up.
Immaculately played clutch there by Chichu. He really had all of the info, knew exactly that Yedaje was just going to be tapping on that first one. There were so many missed opportunities there, though, from both teams. I'm talking about the form of the players and seeing which team's sharp. There were so many spots in that where there was missed opportunities. CNED probably should have died way earlier on if we're going to look at who had more chances to kill each other. But EDG continue this spiral up and onwards. Can't be stopped.
No. It's relentless. Nothing to break the Haunt either, so again, peace of mind granted to EDG. They're giving up that front section of A.
Once more, it looks like a bait and switch setup where CNED's designed to take contact, dash back out, and then play in at a Captain and Yedaje. Very similar to what he did on B. But this time, Kangkang's not even in the right area of the map to take that carrot on a stick. Poison carrot on a stick, I suppose it would be at that point.
Smoggy's task was just holding down the flank here. Following cracks, not too much in terms of the weaponry that they're holding on to. Trick broken. Prowler out too, just trying to bait out the potential of that trap play. Gliding and sliding, Kang. Listen, he's not going to take no for an answer. He wants this sight and he wants it now.
Brilliant way of using the Neon movement there against the eco round. It's so difficult to hit Sheriff shots when the Neon's running at your face.
Oh yeah.
And then wiggling around on the floor.
Smoggy just catching that contact on the players as well. It's a little bit disjointed here from the foot attempt. It's not going to be able to get this one over the line here. For now, EDG are in full control, 7-1, and now's a great time to bring up, talking about the pressure that they had. I think coming off the back of that Shanghai performance, obviously the expectation is going to be much heavier, I think, when it's in their home region playing that tournament. Weeks back.
But they bombed.
They did bomb out.
I mean, yeah, they didn't even have one of their, ooh, they look good, but then they don't make it.
Yeah, it was completely flat.
It was extremely flat, and the Chinese fans wanted more, demanded more, and made their voices very heard. And so you got to expect that was one of the reasons why EDG ended up making changes. CNED tries to get value again.
And this time will succeed. Pluck Smoggy out of the picture nice and easy.
And a wallbang through onto Simon there as well.
Yeah.
Look at the health, 15.
Unfortunate not to get a collat. But that is exactly what Foot were looking for, honestly. The first kills have not really been going their way. Prowler again in the face, with the op shot fired off. They now know exactly where CNED is. Kang support up, chewed up. At least by the trap, fall in a bit of danger. The paranoia is good though with that connection after Stroke. He's going to be dodged. He needs some help from the rest of his team, and the overdrive is just swatted away. Kang does not stand a chance, but Simon quick on the next approach. Will trade it, slowing it down. Patience has to be played now because it's still a 2 versus 4 for EDG. Risks might need to be taken for any chance of them winning this. Pre-fires onto the corner, 2 players into the pit, just holding it. Chichu trying to take that. What is that? Adjustment, flick to the side. Yedaje barely puts him to rest. Simon, 15 health left, tagged up by the cam. Not long for this world, and so Foot finally going to be able to get another one on the board up to that second round.
And that's a massively important one for Foot. They're very, very good on Lotus, so don't get too worried about them just yet. But if they end up going down 8-1 and their economy's broken, doesn't matter how attack-sided EDG's comp is, at that point, you've set yourself up for a very, very rough ending to Lotus. So that's important, stabilizes the economy, gets them into a decent spot, and they know that CNED can find those opportunities with the op. It's just about putting them in the right place, trying to figure out where EDG might go next. And EDG are headed towards A on that classic rubble kind of fight again.
At this point pretty much being handed over for free. CNED again. He's going to make another go of things, isn't he? It's where he found success last time, just peeking through B main.
May catch nobody.
Jump spot. Does he hear this? Pre-aims? Nobody though. Already crossed up onto the spot, barely a shoulder, but this time CNED is starting to hit. On fire with it.
Are so sharp. At some point, you got to imagine Kangkang is gonna feel like he wants to go for the ego battle. It might be too late in this half, but certainly on defense.
Back towards the rubble with the TP here. There's a lot of players though. Does he get that confirmation, Mr. Farland? Not liking what he saw. Smoggy on the meanwhile. He's making sure to take this one slow and steady. Has got them a lot of control up towards C. Door opens up. EDG making the call here for the mid-round pivot. 40 seconds left. Stunned up. Mr. Farland has to let loose with it, but with Smoggy spotted, he might have just given the game away with only 36 seconds left. Had a captain. He's going to reinforce this site up. Still has a snake bite in his back pocket. Smokes are up as well. Orb up to respond. Fault line though. There's no molly at the feet, so EDG are going to be able to get into this one essentially for free. It's all about whether or not you can get this plant down still. Simon, not just a tap, a full stick, doesn't want to try and bait out any of that util, and there's nothing used as a response. No spam on the side of Foot.
No spam, I think, because they're worried about EDG pushing Waterfall. Like I said, they do that all the time in China.
Smokes placed, propped up. Kang. This one going to be dissipating though, doesn't need to be worried about it. Retaking with the op, never quite ideal. Kang. First casualty, Chicho's there, right through the wall. Yedajay is frying, farming, Cloudburst to try and get them into the site. And the last player left is Simon, overwhelmed. Too many targets to really overcome.
And suddenly, a map where EDG were fully in control, and now Foot making a decent little comeback. Those 2 rounds, they might not look like much, but with how EDG's composition is so reliant on getting their economy flourishing and getting an op into Kang's hand on the defense side, any kind of damage done here is going to add up. These last 2 rounds, crucially important. They make all the difference between a 7-5 half or a 9-3. And that's either a close half or a blowout.
Yeah.
Now, Yedajay's been feasting. He's got 12 kills currently. Anytime they've hit the C site, he's been good for it. Hitting shots while stunned on Kang to open up the map twice, and still then continuing to find success elsewhere.
He's doing it all right now. As you mentioned, the anchoring's good when he's handed the chance to do so, but it's really the trading, I think, that's been most impressive. He's always following up off of Cena taking that first point of contact, maybe dashing over the op, as you saw in that prior round. Very consistent.
I'm interested how Foot are going to disrupt the ults that are about to come online here. Quick peek for those of you at home. Nobody and Simon 1 away from Nightfall and Rolling Thunder, respectively. So they're probably, EDG, going to be looking to try to play for one of these ult ops, right? So how do you deny them? Foot can't really win a rubble fight, so that's probably where EDG are going. And you can see here that Foot making the read to stack over towards A, because they expect, I would believe, EDG to be looking for this ult orb over here.
It'll be a hard task trying to win it.
Enormous hard read.
Yeah, skirmish will be occurring. The question is who will be the winner. Now, last time Chichu TP'd back rubble and it did put the punish onto CNED. We'll see if that happens again, or Foot has something to counteract it. Paranoid looks like it's pre-aimed just for the middle uncenter piece of the choke point. Fault line slows them down. TP through the back again, up and around with the updraft. CNED barely alive here, still blinded up inside the Cloudburst. Wants to play inside of it. Chichu running and gunning. Reign Supreme wins out the day. Cracks, you are hard committed into this spot, son, and there is really no escape. Another captain will help him out. Shot from the side and a follow-up again. He can't be denied. Foot just absolutely smashed them into dust.
Can we have a look at the stage? Did Cena just jump into Krax's chair for a moment there?
What happened there?
Possess his body, take him over. What are those 2 up shots? Coming out from a player that I've only ever seen with a rifle in hand. That's nasty. Krax was completely stuck. The door had not been pre-fired, so he was trying to use a classic to get through it. He's like, please, let me escape. Get me through the B. And he decided to turn, stand, and fight. But now EDG have those ults online. Yep. Now in the final round of the half, they've got massive tools to work with.
We've seen again the same fight taking Farland. Oh my goodness, revealed up by the Horde as well. He needs to get the hell out of their door in his face. TP through into the smoke and the bullets just won't connect into the end. EDG not to be denied that space, and they have a lot of ults to make usage of. Nightfall primed and ready, finally let loose. Fallen drops the smoke. CNED anti-synergy almost, but the Blade Storm now the stuns connecting up. This is chaos and anarchy occurring. Updraft will not save you. Kang hunting them all down. Finally put A stop to all of it. Rolling Thunder does not deny the plan. Might be able to get at least put back into it. Nobody tucked to the corner, tight and close, and they still can't remove him. With the upgrade occurred finally. A trade online. Yet a Jado. No effect will reveal everybody's position into the 3v2, and with the fight isolated now to 2v2. In through tree, Smoggy out wide, and what an adjustment it is. Couldn't quite catch that final kill. It looks like he just whipped that rifle all the way around for the 8-4 finish.
Didn't even need his ultimate to close that one out. And it would have been a checkmate situation towards the end, I think. So it's a good half from EDG, a very good half. 8-4 on Fut's map pick, but their comp is attack-sided. Who knows where this is going?
Oh, come on.
Trade in any phone in any condition guaranteed and get $800 off the new Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Well, Edward is definitely gaming at this point. I mean, 8-4, like we said, you've got to come out the gates swinging at this event just because of all the expectations that were laid onto the shoulders of all of these young players. But they are turning up to the challenge here against Fut. Still, there's all these, question marks, I think, when you see two compositions clash on a map where, normally the meta is set in stone. And these are two different, very, I guess, identities that these teams are trying to go for on this map.
Absolutely, and EDG's composition, it does struggle on the defense because they can't occupy 3 sites at once. They don't have the Sentinel, they don't have the Viper. Now, in China, they left the C site very, very weak. I think now you're seeing them leave the A site weak on the pistol to avoid that anti-stratting that Fut would have done. Does Fut care? Are Fut going for the C site? No, not at all.
That's all 5 players grouped up.
But I think EDG are going to end up on attack here.
Flipping the map. Yet a J. This guy is about to be receiving either a world of hurt, or it might just win the round for them single-handedly. He's the one who's got to try and lock this one down already. Early fight taken, and almost lost out. Kang drops him down to at least 11. And a slight tuck into the corner. No way.
He dodges
the bullets. This guy is a fox in the pen, but he is going to be spotted and finally rooted out. So there's our first kill advantage. EDG, maybe something to work with. Door again, opened wide. Molly's a little bit delayed and laid out here. EDG are winning this one with a massive player advantage. Mr. Fallen and Zenith to do the most here, leaving it just down to Fallen. And now overwhelmed at the back. Knives are out and swinging. We are getting scrappy.
That's a major pistol round for EDG to be able to get. They played it really nicely, but there were so many spots there where a Fut player could have had impact. Yedajay tucked into the corner, couldn't do anything. Great shutdown from Kang. And then also Adacaptain, another spot where Kang probably should have died. He's vulnerable, swinging through, but Adacaptain can't get his weapon out in time. Fut letting that one slip a little, a fumble that they can't afford with only 4 rounds in the bag. EDG, this is perfect for them. Again, their defense strategy revolves around getting an op into Kang's hands. Winning the pistol, you're loving that.
Yeah,
you're going to be able to get your economy flourishing.
But we'll make a go of things here. Slow spread default into the Rico. Maybe just aiming to hopefully farm up some ores. That's the trouble with their own composition as well. You can't even rely too much on the ultimates they've got available. Chichu, Paranoia, Flies forwards. Couple of shots fired out as well. He's going to be blind himself. He needs some help and backup. Has arrived in the form of Kang, but he's swiftly dealt with. That was the rifle. Dropped down. Chichudo still a problem. And Smoggy happy to deliver the death blow from the side. edgvsfut Classic in hand. There's enough to dismiss them, even just repping loud in the process, I guess, because they couldn't make it themselves.
Weapons down over towards Rubble. If he had the spike, this would be a great situation to threaten that he was heading off elsewhere and go and try to pick one of those up. But like you said, where is he going? But where can he go? He has to be predictable here and go over towards A. He's just trying to orb max.
Yeah, of course, that really important neural theft.
Hey, listen, on the attack side, it actually can win you some really important rounds, especially when you're playing against a no Sentinel comp. He gets that down, he's going to figure out where the gaps are.
Alert timings here, but nobody's going to keep watching, just for the smoke peek.
I think the question more so than what is the neural theft going to do is, what is a round going to do at this point for Foot? There's 6 behind now. Not only do they need this one, they need to then break the economy of EDG and start a spiral of their own. And Foot's comp, while they've had quite a lot of success with it, and it's been good for them, it's not an alt snowball comp. It's not like you have the lockdown and the showstopper and the nightfall to be able to work with. So this one's still going to be scrappy, still going to be difficult for Foot, even if they get on a roll.
Early push back there on the edgvsfut. Standard attack side here for Foot, but you're right. Rifles in the hands. This is where you really need to get going if you are Foot. You are being pressured like hell. edgvsfut needs some support, needs some help. The squeeze is occurring, but heads to the side. Nobody really watching for him. Smoggy at least will get that trade.
Felt like edgvsfut was calling for help. Ada Captain came back and got counter-called, and Foot went into C instead. edgvsfut strung out to dry, but takes one down. EDG like these kind of setups. It doesn't matter if they're playing full retake every time, as if they have the entirety of the map control.
Time for mound control. Ada Captain needs to spot this one out. They realize they flipped the mound.
Mound?
Yeah.
You can't plan for mound when they're coming mound.
They already have control of it, but we're kind of being caught. It's a little bit easier now. Only one real direction to pay attention to. Smoke in their faces. Util's going to be exchanged. Aftershock in through the choke as well, and rifles reloaded. EDG just primed and ready. Without a kill. Finding it lacking that initiating power, I think, to even get themselves in. Already time ticking away from them with the spike and with the position it's placed in as well. There is no more chances to win this one out. They're looking to do that economical damage, if possible.
Chichu did force into this round, so the fact that he keeps that rifle is going to be important for EDG. They can keep rifles up for round 16. At the moment, what we're seeing is EDG leave one site completely open and pushing heavily the other two. They're trying to condition this idea that they are always going to be pushing, even on the defense side. But Foot are finding the right reactions here, which is to go into the free area and play a post-plant setup where you have space somewhere else.
As long as EDG just make it incredibly obvious of what they're trying to push and fight over. Foot's decision-making is going to get that much more easier here. Kang, though, push his way up. Fault line does catch. Off onto mound. He needs a little bit of help here. He's quite hard committed. They heard a TP. They think it's in the one-way, but Farland's already crossed up.
Foot at this point can tell it's not the same as the previous rounds. Prowler's coming out A.
A peak caught here by nobody. Side by side with Simon. Aftershock's there. Takes a good timing with it right as the wall was going down. So Foot actually don't get any of that space. But on the opposite side of the map, that's Smoggy gone taken out.
I mean, that's through a smoke, surely.
Not too sure, but a decision's now made here. Down to that 50-second mark. Chichu cuts it up onto the corner. Neurofeft. If they wait this one out, they will spot him. Paranoia is going to be forced as a result. Chichu knowing he can't play there. Repositions. Backs away. EDG is split up though. They can't hard anchor onto this side. And with that util saved into the back pocket, rainy day. It's called for. Foot starting to barrel their way through and over onto the seaside, but they made it quite obvious at this point. 30 seconds now. EDG getting some bodies into the fray, into the fight, but it's still that 3v5, and Cracks is not pushed back from that plant. Themselves into it. Flash to at least get Chichu and playing inside. Cam up into his face. Can land and adjust the shot in time. We've seen they're dropping him. Full control towards the back of the site. Need a miracle from EDG. You need mistakes from Foot. Stun into the back. There's no swing attempt off of the back of this here. Almost lining up for some sort of potential from nobody there. But Foot once more going to walk away with another round and starting to string them together at this point. That's 6 on the board.
And you're seeing the weaknesses of EDG's composition on the defense side. There were 2 players there ready to anchor the site, but they can't really do too much. Chishu's already used his paranoia to try to get out of the really uncomfortable spot he's in, and that neural theft that you were poo-pooing earlier on came through fairly handy, didn't it?
It did help, yeah.
It also gave them an amazing paranoia that knew where both players were and blinded both of them too. Foot are back into this game.
Cage trigger.
Interesting. That is real interesting.
Disguising where you put the cam so that it survives for a little longer.
Yeah, it's a real interesting way to take that C mount control. Early fight there, taken. Kang, I believe, had the Marshal in hand. Just to see if he could potentially get that first kill advantage on their own half. By EDG have stacked this one with quite a lot of players. CNED is aware of the possibility, and even just pre-firing into tree. Won't catch this guy sleeping, not
He's
right now. Yeah, he is popping off after a relatively slow beginning. Smoggy going for the peak.
You're
Don't
not
use
using
the
that
ult.
ult.
Yeah, do not use that one. Save that one for another round here. This is a close and shut case here for Foot.
If we want to talk about the ults just for a second, while Smoggy has his as well, it's going to be very difficult for Smoggy to find good opportunities to use that. If he gets picked in a spot like this, even if it's rifles online 5v5, he can't sprint at Foot out through Mount. So he's kind of got to save it for retake scenarios.
Yeah.
And what we saw from him on the attack side is, often, if things are going well enough that you would want to use the ult, then you didn't need to use the ult. Kang finally gets up in hand. The economy damage that Foot did early on and the fact that they've been winning these rifle rounds has stopped Kang from getting that weapon that he's known for. He is a sniper at his heart. He's picking it up and playing over towards A.
The amount of targets that are going to be afforded to him, few and far between. It's only Yedajay, and he's not really going to be choosing to opt into that fight as well. The Haunt and the Stun will push him away. Smoggy willing to disrespect control over towards C Mound. TP across again. Cloudburst and a flash over the top. This is a beautiful takeaway. You need to kill Smoggy in this spot. He's getting away with murder right now. Only 4 bullets left, but will he opt into using the ult to get back into the fight? Doesn't look likely.
CNED's got 2 health. What a whiff from him after he's been playing so well this map.
Yeah, real scrappy.
Oh, they know he's there.
Messi! Nice cue, given away by the cage, and Simon gives up his life. This is all over the place at this point here, but Foot are still in that driving seat despite the damage done to CNED and Ada Captain.
EDG need a huge play from somebody now.
And Kang, 1 kill offered up. Question is it even enough? Farland, plant, stuck and committed. Extension now into the round, into the post plant. Paranoia is set up, Prowler as well. That gets the confirmation and acknowledgement, but a shot missed. Overdrive round to the side in the corner. No one to play off of it. In for the back of the side, lining them all up. Kang with 3. Nightfall is beautiful. Cracks. Last one left, and he is gone.
They needed a miracle, and Kang delivered. Of course it was him. The op shot on the entry, the pop of the overdrive, following up off the back of his initiator utility and dodging that breach ult. Yedajay got completely stuck there. Not a great post plant setup either from Foot, trying to play very heavy on site against that Nightfall. Difficult to make that work. But there you go, as soon as you get the op into Kang's hand, suddenly the defense looks like it works.
It's value earned. EDG stem the bleeding for just a little bit here, and they still, of course, hold the advantage in terms of rounds. This time, adjusting and moving up that positioning. Kang hopping over towards C, wants to play in front of the Viper Orb.
And the cage did not defend the cam this time. It was broken. Foot are also jump peeking this at the start every time. They do that jump peek from on top of the boxes where you can just get your head over the top and see if there's an Opper playing C.
In
the decided to go A.
Yeah, full control over towards A, but the question is, can they clear Chichu? Cloudburst, it's an intelligent way to try and get your way and slip past into the side as well. Chichu still set up, still lands 2! My goodness, he was under a tremendous amount of pressure. for EDG now, that lifeline is delivered, and this could be that 12th round that they were looking for. TP, evacuation, backing away, Pit into the post, and Smoggy's fast, rapid into it, ult, not dead yet, he's back into the fray, back into the fight, pressing forwards, that is absurd. Sees though, connects onto the feet, and now the captain rooted to the side, needs that bailout fun, spraying and praying. Kang left alone now in a 1v2, just the operator in his hands. You might have to call this one quits.
If he goes for it, he won't be able to buy an op again. EDG are at 11. They're already in the lead. You don't need to take risks like this and potentially lose a weapon that's so important for making your defense function. So as heartbreaking as it is, he's got to just let this one slip away. Edgj, he's creeping.
He's hunting it out.
He's hearing.
Yeah, but the question is, will they be able to catch him? This guy is going to be lightning fast, getting all the way away from them, hearing the sound cues. Got to keep the op.
That is absolutely maniacal from Smoggy and nobody. The lack of coordination on that play is baffling for a team that has otherwise been playing fairly well today.
Yeah, I mean, this here.
This push forwards, nobody's supposed to trade this, right? And
Yeah,
instead,
exactly.
nobody backs up and throws a seize. I mean, get on the same page, please, if you're going to be making a play like that. They're chuckling about it now, but this gap is lowered to 3, and they're on an eco.
A little bit of bite towards the round, at least the Guardian, the rifle, the op, but as you said, Josh, the gap is narrowing. Odin spam away from Fallen just to cover the retreat. CNED, dash expended nice and early.
I think the reason that this composition works for EDG, though, is that they have good enough players. Someone gets them around. And in a situation like this, the economy doesn't look good, but Foot are going to be cautious, they're going to be slow, and EDG are going to be taking risks. You will often see Thrifties converted in high-pressure moments like this.
EDG already trying to set themselves up to succeed. Looks like they wanted to commit to a push deep out here. Up onto the site, this is full committal occurring. Nobody right into the back of the site. Classic in hand, and Chichu. This position right here could do some damage and potentially cause some harm, but really no worse for the wear here from the Foot players. They do survive and get that plant down for them.
Planted.
EDG with a difficult task ahead. And a question of what they really want to commit into this one. With Simon's ult in the back pocket, do you save this one still with the gap closing? Swap around with the weaponry. Rifle now into the hands of Kang. Smoggy holds the approach. Perched up, gliding forwards, an attempt to play off of that util, but now the counter spam.
How do you get the op out?
And the counter play, how do you get the op out? It's hard committed, deep into the pit. Simon, where's this flash landing, man? Flicks it up to the side as well. Time is ticking away from it. Will collect at least the 1 kill, but the peak of the util is perfection. And right from behind with the wrap around, the op will not survive another day. Up to 9 now for Foot. The gap now just 2 rounds away from equalizing.
That's the risk of taking a weapon like that, heavily committed into an eco situation. You're unlikely to win. One player's coming in there without a weapon in hand. You don't want to use your big ultimate on Simon because you want to save that for the future. The same logic should apply to the op. So all right, they don't have that to work with. Can they make the ult work for them? The gap closes to 2. C completely open. I mean, look at this. The defensive side has holes in it every single round.
Insanely as well, this hard read. I don't know if it is a hard read, but Foot just already making a move over towards the C side. Edgj wants nothing to do with the A contestation. He can feel the pincer. They tried that move on him before. He's not going to fall prey for it this time. He survives and tries to play for his life.
So last time, they also planted towards Mound, didn't take any spawn or waterfall control.
Doing it again. This time trying to play for Mounty here. So many footsteps, Edgj, you absolute madman. Paranoid up though, blinded, he needs some help, and bailout will be afforded and wrist played. Now as the squeeze is coming in, Rolling Thunder at least to relieve that pressure. Smoggy is ridiculous. Can't quite squeeze himself right through the doors. It just closes shut between him and the site. It's going to be flipped around once more. Foot though, only 2 of their players surviving. One Way's blooming and blossoming. Foot are scrambling now. Players rummaging and rumbling towards the site. This is just absolutely absurd for Fallen to deal with. Damage done. Dodging and weaving. Phantom in hand. CNED the last one left, but not for much longer.
I don't understand how Foot can have seen that exact idea come out from EDG before, recognize it in the first 10 seconds of the round, and decide to fight Mound control.
It's perplexing.
That's bonkers to me.
Yeah.
The door's going to get opened. You're going to get pushed from the back. Why not reactively yourself push forwards, and plant for spawn. Go and take spawn control. Go and take waterfall. Plant for those positions that you can fight over. And instead, Foot are getting caught both times, planting for Mound and trying to control that area, playing exactly into EDG's hand. That was the round they needed to put them onto map point.
It forces the timeout now from Foot.
And I mean, guys might just be saying the same stuff that I am, which is, guys, what on earth are you doing? Flip the map. You know, go and take some of their territory. You know it's undefended because you know they're all behind you. A back-to-back tactical timeout.
Back-to-back timeout?
EDG also taking a tac timeout off the back of this?
Not too sure. Could be some confusion from us in terms of actually who initially called it, but
possible.
So we'll get it cleared up.
But it's looking long.
Yeah, it is looking long, isn't it? Yeah. Says EDG timeout.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, EDG
time to
up
discuss.
Yeah, I mean, they probably need another strategy here, right? Foot are gonna learn from their mistakes. You can't just run the same push out B, push out A strat to get to 13, probably. So what do you do to be able to get over the line here? They've been winning about 1 in 3, 1 in 4 defense rounds. I mean, 1 in 4 puts them at overtime.
The pressure is settling in because EDG, they do just need the one. As you already mentioned, it can come from any one of these players. They're talented and skilled enough to be able to do so. Seen it. Rips it away. Stun connecting though, and a bit of counter spam. Just the rifles in hand. That's nice work. Spike's going to be dropped down hard, committed and past that point of really no return. Foot though have to make some compromises. edgvsfut opening this door with a paranoia swing. Rifle play. edgvsfut. This guy is a menace. And he is going to save the day, isn't he? Simon quick on their trail, right from behind. Will Foot make the same mistake again as the doors open wide? Got to flip the side, and this time they do plan towards it.
Yeah, now they're planting towards spawn. But Mr. Fallen doesn't feel confident about getting over there. He has a teleport. They've actually planted for spawn and playing waterfall, and no one's playing spawn.
Deep Sea's close, Haunt as well, smokes in their face, EDG, chances, nobody's primed and ready, and now the ult let loose. This guy might have found that chance, follow the trail, and you might be rewarded just with the map win, but as it fades away, classic in hand. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me! Nobody! My God! That's how the map finishes!
Ridiculous fashion. EDG take Foot's pick of Lotus.
It could come from anyone, it could come from anywhere. I think the C's that he threw pulled edgvsfut off the high ground.
There's no way.
I think so.
There's no way.
edgvsfut ended up being dragged down to the floor.
Listen, that's a 0.25 in YouTube jobber if I've ever heard one, but that's map 1 wrapped up. What a series. Electric all the way through. And guess what? Plenty more maps left to come potentially. We'll see you soon.